with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater releasing key information and the producer interviewed with a bunch of great information. Now I have what the future holds for the series, and I want to break it down for you guys right here, right now. Before we do, let's get into the giveaway that I have for MGS Delta. You can get yourself a copy just by making sure you subscribe and leaving a comment. I will select random winners all the way up until release. We're looking to give away more than one, so make sure you do that consistently throughout all the videos and see which one you might have a chance to get that win. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this breakdown. We're going to be talking about the future of the full series, aka the franchise. And I don't want to go too deep into the history. We can make another video about the history of Metal Gear, but it has been around almost 40 years now, and it has evolved every single time, and it's basically innovated and created new mechanics, features, visuals, and so much more on every level. And it's been an exciting time to be a fan of video games when this game originally released. That being said, we're living in 2024, and this game has not come out with anything substantial in a while now. And that's where it looks like Konami has put together not only a staff, but also some leaders. And one of the leaders was interviewed, and he discussed what he felt like the series needs and what he thought. As you can see him right here discussing in the Xbox podcast, as well as the IGN one, where he broke down his key information and thoughts about the series and what he feels going forward. I'm going to share some of that with you guys on what he said. We do have a video breaking that fully, so if you want to see every detail, go check that out. But from what this video is talking about the future, he basically was stating that Metal Gear seems to be not known by some players, and they felt like they need to reintroduce the series to a lot of new people, and that they want it to be 10 to 20 years from now that it's still being talked about. And so that's when they started putting together different plans. And we're going to talk about the plans in a minute, but that was his key information. One of the other big factors that I loved was he said, keep watching and keep us honest, and talked about how the Master Collection, which is the first topic of discussion, that was a great thing that to introduce players to the series by bringing the old games, but it wasn't everything that it needed to be, because some of the mechanics and issues and bugs that were in the originals when they ported it to the other devices still plague them, and they're working on trying to make it better. And I'm going to talk about that for a second here, and then we're going to jump into Snake Eater again. Just wanted to stop here and talk about the way that this game has done some great things. This is called the Master Collection, and it comes with 5 of the main storyline games of this series. And I absolutely love the fact that they did this, because that means my PlayStation 5, my PC, Xbox all have a version of this game. And so this is just a plus for the community, even though these are the originals and they're probably not going to be visually stunning the way 4K new remake will. It's still introducing us to the series, and it's going to help those who absolutely love the series and want to see it rise. And again, there's plenty of things in here. The first 5 games that are the main canon are in here, and that is spectacular. And it's called Volume 1. There's bonus content as well, and we love that. And this is such a great thing. Now, reason I want to stop there is we are going to talk about Volume 2 in just a second. As a matter of fact, let's start with Volume 2, guys, because I'm very excited, okay? So this is my take for Volume 2 after Delta, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. But I wanted to stop and just show y'all something I drew up last year when the Volume 1 was announced. I decided to make my own version of what I think could be in here. Now, this doesn't need to happen, because I honestly could have taken out Phantom Pain and Ground Zeroes, because we do have them on the modern systems, Xboxes, PlayStations, PCs, all have these two in there. But I threw them in there just to have the full storyline. And that's what I wanted to do. And by the way, this is all just fan art. It's not real. It's not related to Konami. Remember, I'm just a creator here, not representing Konami. Don't go announce this to your friends. But I can guarantee you that they're working on seeing if they can get this part 2 done. When will it release? Hopefully 2025 is my guess. I'll talk about dates in a minute, but the point is we have it. Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker are the two main storyline games that they can add. And don't get it twisted, they have plenty of other cool games from the series that they can pull from. And it's up to you to decide which ones you personally would prefer. And, just leave it in the comments because I'm not here to sway anybody, but I do want the main 9 Hideo Kojima games to be presented to the broader audience because those were the masterpieces. There's literally like 10 plus more spin-offs, maybe 20 other spin-offs, but they're not as good as these, and that's why I have them in here. But if you want to put Portable Ops, Revengeance, those type of games to me are the pinnacle of the spin-offs. Throw that in there, maybe some Acid, the video game Acid, by the way, and so on. You can throw that in as extra content that I think would be very cool as well. But I just wanted to showcase this because the future is here, okay? And we're going to talk about Delta now because to me that's the game that we're definitely getting without a shadow of doubt. And this is the first introduction to the series with the modern graphics, modern gameplay. And he broke it down and also said, the producer of this game, and he said that, introducing them with Master Collection was great, but having the best start for the series, they felt that it was Snake Eater. And I can't disagree because it is a masterpiece and it is the actual chronological order of the series. So they can basically introduce people to Big Boss and the way things all started and then go from there. And so that's what I personally am excited for, and I'm hyped to see how this all goes depending on how they play it, of course. Okay, let's not get too crazy with it, but I definitely would love to see this series continue with this game and more. But that's just my opinion. And now we're going to get into where there's a little more hypotheticals, and also with the evidence that we have, I want to get into it. So in the timeline goes that we got the Master Collection, which was a great thing in my opinion. Whether the bugs were there or not, it's okay. We got 7 of the 9 games all in one shot right here. Well, I'm sorry, 5 of the 9 games that are the canons in this specific setup here. So for me, that's a W already. And then we're going to see if they can deliver with what's next is Delta. And so Delta to me, hands down, has to be the possible make or break. If they make this game and it's a big, huge success, they're going to know that everything else that they're doing. But guess what? The publishers think ahead of time. So they're already working on a few things. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys, again, this is not official news. This is from the evidence that shows and how they work. Okay. It takes about 3 years for production for a game to develop and release. And then it also sometimes takes more depending on that game. But before that, they always are in concept for years before. It can be 5, maybe 10 years before. They always have ideas that they want to make next. After Delta releases and it's a success, because I know it will be, it can easily come out with the Master Collection, which is just porting the games and giving that to the audience. I don't think that's going to be very hard, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm just a content creator right now making this video for you. But that can be next. And that to me is going to be special because part 4 specifically has never been on other platforms, and it could come to every platform and be something special. And Peace Walker as well. And then we'll see what else they throw in there for the volume. Now, outside of these, the question we have about what should they remakes next, I actually have a video kind of breaking that down and giving you guys some of my feelings and some of my thoughts on that. I will say this before we get into deep waters here. Personally, I would rather a remake, a new game to come out where they continue to expand different stories that we never explored, whether it's the boss, a little more of Raiden. It could be Solid Snake's story, maybe Big Boss's story after the Phantom Pain. Where was he? Explaining all that. There's questions out there. How did Raiden become a cyborg? Give us like the better version of that and break down how things all went throughout the series. There's plenty of different options. Okay. That can be one way they go, but that's probably the most risk taking way. And we're going to look at Capcom's Resident Evil and how they just continue to remake games, but then they're adding their own games within that. I believe Konami's taken that formula and they're going to do the same. I believe they will end up releasing a very cool remake here and then another collector's edition, and then they can start working on an original while making another remake of one of the classic games. Okay. And so that's what you should expect. So 2025, by 2025, you're going to be hearing about Volume 2, the Master Collection for Metal Gear, and then Delta should be released by that time, 2025. After that, it'll be about a year or two. Then you're going to hear a teaser for another remake and or original. That's my predictions. I'm sticking to it. With that being said, I do have videos about what next game should be and what the next remake should be. Both of that, because I feel like that's more or less what they'll go back and forth with in the long run, and we'll be able to get some cool stuff from there. So you should go ahead and check that out. It should be popping up on your screen right now. And by the way, while you do that, if you didn't go yet, got that giveaway waiting for you. Just leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll pick a winner. See you there.